This is the peaceful sea, and beneath its depths the kingdom of Atlantis, ruled by the all-powerful Prince Namor, the Submariner. I am that prince, once the enemy of mankind and all, because of the most evil mind in creation. Let me roll back the tides of time and tell you that story. It begins in the fortified isle of Latveria.
Allies for peace. Ah, this is my greatest chance to strike. Now, when they least expect it, my attack must be foolproof, irresistible, all-powerful. Only by scoring the greatest victory of all time can I wipe out the humiliations of the past. The accursed Alliance for Peace is the greatest fighting team the world has ever known. Only one thing will be able to destroy them. An even greater team of super-powered foes. Yes, a veritable army of the most deadly villains alive. And by skillfully manipulating my high-frequency emotion charger, I can fan the flames of hatred in the heart of every evil menace in existence. I shall transform their peace day into their day of final destruction.
Meanwhile, at the dedication ceremony...
Be on guard, friends. My mutant brain senses danger.
Look! A drill going through the floor of the lobby. Ah! Little did they dream that the mole man would dare attempt such a brazen attack. Smash everything my brainless slave.
Professor X calling. Red alert! Red alert! Mayday! Mayday!
Hurry! The professor needs us.
But who dare threaten us now?
Whoever it is, we have the power to handle them. An immodest remark, but voracious withal, partner.
Hurry! There he is. Blundering fools! My stun staff will drive you back.
We must keep him off balance telekinetically. One high-intensity power blast ought to stop his army of subterraneans.
If you'll wait after class, we'll be glad to review this lesson in tactics.
Now all we've got to do is find a way to cork him up.
We've got him on the run. They're racing back underground.
I suppose we leave that to our frigid fighting friend.
Yes, sir. One cork coming up. There. That solid mass of ice will seal the opening and push them steadily down as it melts. Ah! The overconfident mole man failed. But I will reach others with my emotion machine. Some inner voice is urging that the Mandarin must attack the Allies for Peace.
And it seems that the same inner voice is whispering to many other familiar figures as well. Emissaries of evil from out of the past, the present, and even the future. But luckily, not all who head for the peace building are perpetrators of evil.
One of mankind's defenders. He must be annihilated. None shall stop the super sprawl from his mission of destruction.
For the vengeful Thunder God makes his awesome wrath felt.
At that moment, in far-off Atlantis, I was receiving the unexpected news of the fearful invasion of evil which menaced all of mankind. And I learned that the greatest danger of all was suddenly rising out of the sea. A tumor.
Merciless warlord of the deep, determines that this is the golden moment to attack with the might of his legions and conquer a world. Far below the surface, the Submariner waited and watched and wondered if this would be the end of the human race. First, the villains attempt to destroy the peace building, then the city.
My goal is nothing less than conquest. Look out for his eyeglass ray! Avengers assemble! We don't dare be defeated!
A bad thinker and his awesome android, whose body structure can be changed to match any foe. I'm Ep12. It takes more than a metal shell to beat me. My power transistors have a match of a dozen overgrown lumps of putty.
Master! Hydra will pay double if our plan succeeds! This vortex bomb will level the peace building within seconds!
But for every super menace, there seems to be a superhero to rise in fearless challenge.
Look out! We're under attack! Stop shooting, you fool! You'll set off the bomb! Jump! Leave him alone on the truck! It will blow up as soon as it hits something!
Right, but it'll hit what I aim it for. So far, so good. Now, turn this bomb back on the agents of evil. Atuma is astounded at the careening truck coming his way. The waterproof fabric cushioned the bomb's impact. No one is harmed except Atuma's vast force. But have all the evil forces been vanquished? In a whirling, wondrous whirlpool, the thunderstruck Atuma and his invasion forces are pulled back to the watery depths by the irresistible giant vortex.
With the Atuma gone, we can easily mop up the others.
The battle is not yet ended. There is still the Submariner.
Look, there's a whole school of paupers keeping pace with the ship. I wonder why.
Let us visit the coast and see how mankind fares in its desperate battle.
Ah, I finally found him. Now to attract his attention.
What now? A surface mortal dares invade the privacy of Prince Namor?
I come in peace, Submariner. Our meeting has been inevitable and long delayed. Behold the face of your ally, the one who shares your ambition, the total defeat of all mankind.
That is strong talk from a stranger.
Never fear, I am strong. Strong enough to join the powers of science to those of darkness. Show me the puny mortal who does not tremble at the name of Dr. Doom. I have a proposition for you. But first, a demonstration of my little toy. I call this cylinder a grabber. At a touch of this control knob, I can launch it in any direction. Observe.
Traveling on its magnetic beam, the grabber swiftly races across the floor of the ocean and homes in on the head of a huge pagan idol mired for centuries at the bottom of the sea. The huge mass begins to stir. Slowly it is lifted and drifts like a feather on the powerful magnetic current traveled by the grabber.
There. When I release this knob, my grabber brings back its catch, no matter what its size or weight.
Truly fantastic. That head weighs many tons.
Magnetic force is unlimited, and when amplified, it has the strength of giants. All that power is locked within this small cylinder. Now, I shall dismantle the grabber. You will be able to hide its tiny elements in the hollow of your belt buckle.
Done. Then later I am to reassemble the grabber at some point in your plan when you're ready to release its incredible power.
Yes, when you come face to face with our mutual enemies. Now, listen closely.
Demonic Dr. Doom teamed up with the mighty Submariner. Can anything now save mankind?
What's all the commotion? Wow! Look who's coming up the street!
Fearless, calm, fully aware of his great powers, Submariner confidently makes his way through the uneasy, staring crowds.
Stand aside. I will bode no interference from mere mortals. My extrasensory mutant brain detects the awesome presence of Submariner approaching our peace building.
What can the monarch of the deep want with us?
Be silent, air breather, and I shall tell you. I've come to seek your trust. Mine is indeed a lonely kingdom, and a lasting friendship may prove of more value than any fleeting taste of revenge.
Very impressive, Submariner. But how do we know it's not a plot? How can we be sure you haven't set a deadly trap?
See for yourself. Am I not alone and unarmed?
It is possible that you have come in peace. In which case, you won't mind us checking out the building.
Projection room all clear.
Roof landing strip, all clear.
Observatory all clear.
Lobby and lab, all clear.
Launch area and electronics controls all clear.
Conference and map rooms, all clear.
Humans, your suspicion is laughable. Does my presence now pass your rigid inspection?
I'm not satisfied yet, Submariner. Stay where you are. I have a few more questions.
Suddenly, a loud tremor shakes the entire building. Slowly, the great skyscraper begins to rise from its foundation.
The building, it's floating into the air.
We're going higher. Faster.
This is your doing, Submariner. You can stop this.
I can't, you fools. I merely planted the trap. But it has been triggered by Dr. Doom.
Will Namor and the defenders escape the trap that boomeranged?
We're now thousands of feet above the city and going higher. At this rate, we'll all suffocate in minutes upon reaching the upper atmosphere.
What has Dr. Doom to do with this, Namor?
That master of villainy is in a rocket plane above. using a fantastic magnetic grabber to pull us.
But how is he doing it?
His plane is attracting a magnetic grabber, which I planted in the basement.
Then our only hope of ever getting down is to seize control of that plane.
There is no time. The air is already thinning out. We'll perish from lack of oxygen before you can reach him.
Who can doubt the genius of Dr. Doom now? My plan has been executed without a flaw. I've managed to trap the only beings capable of blocking my ambition to rule the entire world. Submariner never guessed he too was included in that group. And now he's as helpless as the rest.
We're powerless in the empty void of space. None of us will be able to fight when the air is gone.
Suddenly, the silence is broken by the voice of Dr. Doom.
Greetings, my crusading friends. To those of you who are still alive to hear these words, I can tell you that we are near to the close of your little journey. But before I part with your delightful company, I shall set this building on a collision course with the sun, which I am certain will receive you warmly.
If we can't stop him, we're done for. Not while the Submariner lives. Quickly! Is there a water storage tank in this building?
Led to the tank, Submariner plunges into its depths.
Water. Life-giving water. Oh, I can feel myself growing stronger for what lies ahead. I must not fail.
Unknown to the Submariner and his friends, a strange phenomenon occurs 10 million miles away. A speeding comet strikes a dead sun. The catastrophic explosion rents the heavens apart, sending a swarm of meteors racing through the universe. As they roar through space toward the building stolen by Dr. Doom, the Submariner prepares a daring plan of attack.
Don't do it, Submariner. I can sense your intention, but it will mean certain death.
Not for Prince Namor. That meteor swarm is what I am counting on to help me reach Dr. Doom. And now the word is, go!
With the agility of a porpoise, the courage of a tiger shark, the mighty Prince of Atlantis leaps from meteorite to meteorite.
Now for the reckoning.
But suddenly, at the flip of a control lever from inside the ship, an all-powerful band of magnetism pins the Submariner to the steel hull of the cabin. The pressure increases, which caused the Submariner to bare his teeth in pain.
Magnetic force may keep me from getting up, but it cannot stop me from going down. Nothing shall keep me from Dr. Doom.
But unknown to Submariner, Dr. Doom has set another trap. He presses a button and...
I don't hear a thing. That's the end of Namor at last. Now all I need do is to press this lever to break contact, and the building will spiral into the sun.
The whole cabin is charged with electricity, enough to destroy you forever. I stored that charge like an electric eel, and now I'm returning it at full voltage.
I'll get out to the ball and electrocute it.
A rocky space wanderer streaks onward, unmindful of its human rider, unmindful of the loneliness of its never-ending journey. While back on Earth, the peace building silently settles back to the dark, deserted streets, guided by the Prince of Atlantis at the controls of Dr. Doom's deserted ship.
Now I too shall return to my proper place, until the day when the human race in Submariner can live in peace and share the precious bonds of friendship.
Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere.
He can breathe underwater and go flying through the air. And the Prince of the Deep will be ready any demon.
Lord Namor of Atlantis is the Prince of the Deep.
see in an Atlantis schoolroom. An Atlantean teacher is concluding a lecture.
All together, class, who is this revered personage?
Father Neptune.
And this is
The jeweled trident, symbol of imperial power.
And who holds the sacred trident?
Prince Namor the First.
And who is Prince Namor the First?
He is sovereign of Atlantis, emperor of the Seas, lord of the seven seas,
Yes. And what else?
supreme commander of the undersea legion.
Excellent. Yes, Rachel.
Why does our monarch wear that funny robe?
That is called a toga, a garment worn in the ancient days by the Romans.
But our prince lived not in those days, did he?
Well, yes and no. It is a strange tale, but true.
Tell us!
Very well. It began when our great monarch was fighting the faceless legions of the evil undersea scientist Xantor, whom Namor had banished from Atlantis many years before. Single-handed, he drove off the monsters until finally they turned and fled back to their subterranean depths. In a second attempt to defeat Namor, Xantor sent spinning mechanical starfish as sharp and as dangerous as circular saws at our brave prince. But with the ease of great skill, Namor destroyed them all. Then he followed the fleeing Xantor into his cavern laboratory, which was exactly what Xantor wanted him to do. For as soon as Namor was inside...
You swallowed my bait. It was almost too easy.
Release me at once. In the name of Neptune, I command you to set me free.
Set you free? Ha! I have waited too long for this day. There is more than one way to vanquish an enemy.
You shall pay dearly for this, Xantor.
On the contrary, it is you who shall pay.
You cannot keep me here.
I do not intend to. Once you banished me from Atlantis, me, the greatest scientific genius of your realm.
You used your genius not for the good of the people, but for destruction and conquest.
And now I shall be able to pursue those dreams. For I am about to banish you from this time and this place.
I shall escape.
From where you are going, there is no escape. So, the mighty submariner has the strength of 1,000 men. Well, you shall have a chance to prove it.
What nightmare is this?
Who dares to interrupt the games of Nero, Emperor of Rome? Guards, bring him forward. Who are you?
I am Namor the First, Prince of Atlantis.
I've never heard of such a prince. You are either an interloper or a spy. In either case, the penalty is death.
Do your worst. A Prince of the Blood never bows to injustice.
Such an imperious attitude warrants the best of my gladiators. Let us see how this self-styled prince defends himself. A play. Something appropriate.
He has no weapon, yet see how he defends himself.
My gladiators merely toyed with him. You shall see. The spectators demand you kill your adversary. Then I shall reward your great show of strength. You shall have the honor of joining my Praetorian Guard.
I refuse. A Prince of the Blood would never stoop to serving as a common guard. Nor does a true prince slay one he has already vanquished.
How dare you defy me? Guards, bind him with chains. For such arrogant defiance, I sentence you to die as no other man has died before. As a sacrifice to the demon which is my god, Volcanus. Let him be stretched above the sacred fire.
Is Prince Namor doomed to become a human sacrifice to a strong, deadly demon?
And so the wicked Emperor Nero sentenced our mighty prince to be sacrificed to Volcanus. Who is Volcanus? The demon god of fire. Fire? What is fire? It is an element known only to the surface people. An element that is deadly to us who live beneath the sea. Well, after binding Prince Namor's hands, they put him aboard a barge and rowed to the temple of the demon god, which stood on the banks of the Tiber River. There they chained his wrists and ankles to posts, so that he hung suspended over a huge fire pit. And just beyond was the door to the demon god's cave, wherein he awaited his victims. And as the temple priests stoked the fire higher and higher...
Water. I must have water, or the last of my strength will surely ebb away.
Not need water nor anything else. Soon. The fire has almost reached the right intensity to begin the rites. Go. Summon our emperor. He wishes to preside at the ceremony. I go forthwith. And may Volcanus be pleased with the sacrifice and continue to protect Rome from the scourge of fire.
Meanwhile, in a palace dungeon, the gallant gladiator awaited his fate.
The people demand your death for failing to win the contest. And since the stranger who defeated you refused to carry out their verdict, I, their emperor, sentence you to be thrown to the lions at the setting of the sun tomorrow. They will be ravenous by then. And now I must see for myself how heroically your benefactor meets his doom.
But the gladiator was not fated for Nero's sentence, for moments later...
It is not morrow yet. Or do you come to taunt me more?
I come not to taunt you, but to free you in the name of the Sons of Freedom. Here, cover thyself with this cloak and follow me.
And through the dark streets of Rome, the gladiator followed his rescuer until...
Inside, hurry. Marcus, Minius, Petronia. You are surprised to find so many of Rome's leading citizens dedicated to the downfall of tyranny?
So, you are the Sons of Freedom.
As your life is forfeit, will you become one of us?
Yes. But first, I must repair debt.
And at the temple of the demon god Volcanus, the fire burned brighter.
Water. I grow weaker by the second. I must have water or I shall perish.
You will perish in any event, but I will be merciful. Here is water. Cool, clear water. But first, deny your claim to royal lineage.
I shall never deny my birthright and my heritage.
You have the pride of royalty, but it will avail you naught. Prepare to die. Volcanus is becoming impatient.
If I must die, I shall die like the prince of the blood that I am.
Let us begin the ceremony.
Not yet, tyrant. Prince Namor requests some water, and I shall oblige.
You shall pay for this.
Thank you, my friend. 'Twas all I needed to restore my waning strength.
Help! Help! Murderers! Assassins!
Temple priests!
Destroy them! They dare to threaten my royal person!
Spare them not, for they would not spare you.
Look out behind you.
My debt to you grows greater.
You owe me nothing. Rest, flee like the cowards they are.
Well done. You fight like a true Roman.
But I am neither of your time nor your country.
It matters not. The Sons of Freedom could use one of your metal.
Your tongue speaks treason. You will never dethrone Nero. I will rule forever.
He is truly mad.
Yes, it was madness for you not to escape with your priests, Nero. But now you are at my mercy.
Stay back! I am the Emperor of Rome.
He's tearing at the seams.
There! Now you shall pay the price for rebellion. Slay the Prince of Atlantis.
With fire, his natural enemy, how can Namor hope to defeat Volcanus?
What did the demon look like? He was red hot, with flames that licked about his eyes and ears. And as he set his glowing eyes on our mighty prince, the cowardly Nero fled, leaving our monarch to his doom. Or so he thought. But Namor stood his ground and prepared to battle him to the death.
The heat of his body. I'm dying.
Take heart, my friend. I will distract him.
No, 'tis my battle, not yours. For that you shall dearly pay. I'll bring your evil temple down about you. Aha! So water is your enemy.
Pillar by pillar, Namor destroyed the temple, while fending off the fiery monster. Until finally, buried beneath the rubble, Namor was a victim of his own destruction. While the maddened demon fled his ruined temple and headed for Rome, Volcanus, like a mighty engine of destruction, began to destroy houses and temples, setting everything afire that touched his flaming body. While at the temple,
Our gladiator is still alive, but barely.
The stranger prince is still unconscious. Lift them carefully.
carrying their burdens, the cloaked figures made their way back to the burning city.
The prince stirs.
Where am I? And who are you?
You are safe. We are your friends.
The gladiator? He saved my life.
He lives, but...
Then 'twas a death blow. The demon, he got away.
He is at this moment rampaging through Rome. The entire city is in flames. See for yourself.
I must stop him. Come back.
Nothing can stop Volcanus.
But our valiant prince heard not his cry and set out to stop the fiery menace, while above the burning city, the wicked emperor watched with glee.
This will teach them all to defy me, Nero, Emperor of Rome. Give me that lyre. None can match the delicate beauty of my music. See how they run, traitors, all of them.
At the edge of the river, Namor watched the tragic scene.
There is only one slight chance, and I, only I, the mighty submariner, could do it.
It's a tidal wave, an umbrella of water.
I've done it! Now I must vanquish the demon before he strikes again.
Volcanus fled in terror back to his ruined temple, only to find our prince waiting for him.
This time, Volcanus, you shall be your own destruction.
With the demon destroyed, Namor returned to the side of his gladiator friend.
The Prince of Atlantis has returned.
Rome will be forever grateful to you, Namor, and so shall I, my friend.
I vow that as long as such sons of freedom exist on Earth, evil will never triumph. I shall find Nero and avenge this night. The palace. I hear him and his mad music within.
But before our monarch could enter the palace, an awesome apparition barred his way.
Father Neptune!
My son, you have proved yourself a true prince this day. But your deeds here are finished.
I must avenge the death of a noble friend.
I forbid you to tamper with history more than you already have. And as for Nero, fear not. He will meet his fate soon enough. His own wickedness will be his undoing. As for you, my son, I shall return you to Atlantis and your time. And for your brave actions of this day, you shall wear the laurel wreath of a Roman hero.
And so, with the blessing of Father Neptune, Prince Namor returned to us. And does history record the great deeds of our monarch? Ours does. But of course, the surface people would never believe it. But then most surface people don't even believe in the existence of Atlantis itself.
Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere.
He can breathe underwater and go flying through the air.